So let me go ahead and record this. Awesome. Now, today, if you guys remember from yesterday's call, this whole week, we're just talking about the mind battle. This whole week, we're talking about what's going on up here. We're talking about how to strengthen this, how to be able to utilize the most powerful asset on this planet, which is the human mind. What sets us apart from other animals that are out here? What sets us apart? It's our ability to think. It's our ability to create. And all those things are extremely important. Yesterday, if you don't remember, we talked about slightly about the placebo effect. I love having that conversation because it's crazy that we get taught about the placebo effect in science class, but you never really get taught or about how you can use those same things. Like, why would it be of importance to know that I can use my own mind to potentially heal yourself from certain things, but not be important that I can use that same mind to help me get freedom, to help me help my why, to help me go accomplish all the things and the goals it is that I want. It makes no sense. And I feel like they kind of like stop the conversation right where the science is at, because they don't want anybody, they don't want people to really be able to truly walk in their power on a day-by-day basis. And I think that that's something that we absolutely had to address. So now when it comes to your mindset, I want to ask everybody a question. And these conversations, again, are for leaders, are for people who are looking for more, who are looking to grow. And having that true self-awareness and being one with yourself will be able to allow you the most clarity. So the first thing I want to ask is, who is currently renting space in your mind? So if you think about the last 24 hours of your day, what things were you thinking about in the last 24 hours? The last 24 hours happened for all of us. It was the same amount of time for all of us. So in that period of time, what were the things that were crossing and that you were thinking about? Was it your goals? Was it your distractions? Was it challenges and situations that you're looking at? Or was it the success that you know you're going to be able to create? And Martin said goals and food. I feel that. He said, are you focused? Where that's leading to is, are you focused on the things that you can control? Sorry, are you focused on the things that you can't control? Or are you focused on the things that you have 100% control over? And when we're stepping into the space of understanding how powerful our own minds are, we must realize that you have to take 100% responsibility for everything that's going on in your life. And that people who blame, like if you ever say that something in your life is in X, Y, Z situation because of another human being, you've now immediately given up all your power. So what we want to do here is have a community and people that walk in their power and live out their power on a day-by-day basis. So that way you can get the most out of this thing here we call life. It's not directly tied to a Warrior Prime or to business. At the end of the day, if a person who's walking in their power joins a Warrior Prime, their Warrior Prime is going to do well. If a person with no power joins a Warrior Prime, their business is not going to do well. Did a Warrior Prime change? No. What changed? The person. So that's where these calls and that's where that emphasis is at, because it doesn't really matter about the business. It's all about the individual. It's all about how it is that that person is looking at it. So what I want everybody to do is to think and to constantly put yourself in a mindset to where you're focused on the day-by-day basis. Your brain power that you're spending, the rent that you have that's going on in your brain, is focused on things that you have 100% control over, 100%. And does anybody know the two things that you have 100% control over? Does anybody know? I'll give some guesses. Let's see. Said react. Good one. Emotions. It's another good one. Yourself. It's another good one. The answer is your personal growth and your personal activity are the only two things that you actually have 100% control over. Is that how much it is that you're growing and what it is that you're actually doing. And I think that oftentimes we allow our brain power to be filled up with thoughts about things that actually can't directly change the situation right now. So like if I'm working on a business deal, if I'm working on in a group or anything like that, you spend more time worrying about what it is that X, Y, and Z did or didn't do, but you're not actually using that same brain power to do what it is that you're doing at the highest level. And oftentimes, what do I mean? How does this affect you? Is that if you allow time in your brain and your muscles up here to be focused on things that you don't have control over and you can't go and change it, that puts you in a position now for the situation that you're currently in. There's no way that you can maximize what it is that you're looking at that you do have control over if your time and energy is spent on the things that you can't have control over. And we only have 24 hours in a day. So those people who spend their days worrying or spend their days concerned about what else is going on outside of things that they have direct control over are now putting themselves actually at a major, major disadvantage. And because of that, you want to be mindful of what you're allowing yourself to think about, what you're allowing yourself to even get into deep conversation about. Because at the end of the day, that time that you have, like it's a sermon that I just watched the other day about one of my favorite new pastors called "I Ain't Got Time for That." Like, and it goes to understanding the perspective that comes into when you know what it is that you want and you know where it is that you're going. And I feel like oftentimes do we allow too many distractions to fill up what's going on up here. Oftentimes do we allow concern. This is a conversation for me. Like, I hope y'all don't think, like, I love y'all a lot, but these conversations, like, I get a whole lot out of this because it forces me to grow, forces me to read more, forces me to be introspective and to take information at a deeper level. So I absolutely feel the same things for myself about things that I can't control. It's a humbling feeling to admit that things that happen in your life, you actually don't have control over, but you have to still, throughout that, control the things that you do have the ability to control. That's a tough concept for people to accept. And it's very easy to slip and fall into the victim mindset and feel like, oh, well, it's me, X, Y, and Z happened. And you know what I mean? Like COVID happened to everybody. And there's people right now who are 6 months deep into COVID, who lives are looking completely different than others. And it's like the situation happened to all of us. Yes, it happened differently, but how you responded to it or how you were able to maneuver through it determines where it is that you are right now. So the things that you have no control over when it comes to business, you don't have no control over, especially this business. You don't have no control over upline, downline, sideline, corporate, You don't have any control over any of that stuff. It's only your personal activity and only your personal growth. So when you're going through a tough time, or when you're building your business and you're getting rejections, or when you're going through challenges that are going to come no matter what is it that you need to do? And what is it that we want? Like, I want everybody to realize that every battle that you deal with is a mind battle. It doesn't matter what happens. Every battle is a mind battle. So what do you do when you're in a battle? What do you do when you're in a situation that's tough? What do you do when you're in a situation where you might not necessarily know what to do? Here's what I want you to do. And for all my athletes, you'll understand this quicker. For everybody who's not, I'm gonna break it down slowly after. You have to take your view from the field and bring it to the press box. And what does that mean? That means that athletes, especially playing football, you play football, you're in the game, you're playing on the field. But in reality, there's a much actual better vantage point of the same game that's happening from another perspective. And that perspective is much higher. So that's where a lot of times coaches and XYZ will sit up in the press box and be able to communicate what's going on, because they can see the offense, they can see the defense, they can see the special teams. So they can see everything. And a lot of times people, we get caught up in our problems because we're so close to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're so close to the problem, you can't even see it. Like, you know what I mean? Or you're so close to it, you can't maneuver. It's like a book. If I'm like this on the book, I can't read what's going on. But if I can break it up and give myself some space, I can give myself the perspective to actually be able to read and analyze what's happening. So a lot of times we're walking around and I'm like this, my bank account ain't have no money in it. My ex ain't doing, like, my business, all of those things, you're walking around with that right here. And the toughest thing to do is be in that situation and force yourself to operate at that level of perspective. And I want, it's a great book, by the way. Absolutely. It's The Three Little Piggy Banks. A friend of mine just wrote this. A friend of mine's son just wrote this. He's 9 years old. So it's awesome. And I'm definitely reading it to my son a little bit. But I want everybody to really get that and take that to heart, because it really opened up my own eyes. And so how do you get from the field to the press box? And you know what's funny is that it doesn't mean that your view on the field is bad. No, it doesn't. We all have view on the field. We're all dealing with it. It just means that the press box view is much better, like much better. So if you can get to that point of view and increase what it is that you're looking at and do that, like, and again, nobody's going to walk you from the field to the press box. This is something that you have to go through. This is something that you have to learn. So once you learn how to be able to do this, your perspective on every situation changes. And that's why you hear people say, it doesn't matter what happens. There's no losses. It's just lessons. What are they saying? It's just perspective. It doesn't matter what happened. At the end of the day, as long as you lived through it, at some point in time, you're going to be grateful for that, or you're going to learn something from that, or you're going to be able to take something from that. Now, it's all in how you look at it, though. if you look, like, regardless of what you look for, you're going to find it. If you look for something negative, you're going to find it. If you look for something positive, you're going to find it. Now, it's the same thing was like somebody were to, that's why I laugh sometimes when people critique the business, because it's like, they're like, I'll say, you know what, I'm gonna go check this thing out. I'm gonna go do my research. And in reality, all you're doing, they're looking for something to be wrong with the business. That's all they're doing. Is they're literally going to try to seek and find something, some way that they can prove to be credible that this business is not going to work because they're looking for it. But the people who are looking for opportunity, those are the people that don't even ever Google the company because they don't care, because they were looking for an opportunity so they can see the opportunity in this. And that's why we talk about we kicking over rocks, and we go over, we operate in the mindset of no emotional expectation from any human being. You expose them and then you move to the next person, because you got to wait for people to be open. Because if somebody's not open, they're always going to look for a problem, and they're never, like, you know what I mean? And you have to allow that. And the issue comes with is that people, the issue with us is that some of the biggest issues in network marketing is people feel like, oh my gosh, people are pushy. They're trying to force me to do this thing. Now, and this is how you have to look at it from our perspective, is that we need to know that most people are not already, or not in a position at that exact moment that they're open to whatever it is your opportunity is. So they are not going to just say, they're not going to just say, hey, I don't want to do it. They're going to go try to find some credible reason that they actually don't want to be involved, as opposed to just admitting that they're not open or they don't have the money at that exact moment. But what happens is that they bring BS reasons to the table. The trained affiliate is like basically saying that what are you saying doesn't make any sense. How can you not? You can figure this out, blah, 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 blah. And that's where the confusion comes in at. But it's really in just that person not being open. And then this person, the affiliate, not having the emotional understanding or the perspective to say, oh, they just not open right now. I'm not even worried about it. I'm on to the next person. When they're ready, they're going to call me. I'm never arguing with anybody. I'm never convincing anybody. My perspective on it is like, it's so different, because it's like, you have to remove the expectation that everybody is going to join your business immediately. You have to remove that. But it comes along with this conversation that we're having of people are going to find what they're looking for. And if there's anything I can promise you, that right now, today, and all throughout every single country on this earth, that there are people looking for a way to be able to make money online as easy as possible. I was looking for that. I wish I could find my old Googles from when I was in like middle school, because I used to damn sure Google, how can I make money online? How can I, you know what I mean? I'm doing surveys, I'm doing whatever it is I can try to figure out how to do, because this is clearly the answer. This is clearly the way. So right now, I think that we have that. And I want you to operate and understand that you're going to get connected with people who are looking for this. So what I want you to do is even change the perspective on your day for the next week. Change your mindset to, okay, I'm looking for people who are looking for ways to make extra money. I guarantee if you say that every morning, hey, listen, I'm looking for people who are looking for ways to make extra money. Things are going to happen that you're going to notice, and people are going to be there that you have now the ability to tell about what's going on. But it's all, and if you're looking for them. And that's why people are like, oh, I don't have any people to talk to. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? It's 7 billion people on earth. I could talk to everybody in my network 20 times. It doesn't, like, there will still be plenty of people to figure out a way to be able to have a conversation with about what it is that we're doing. But it all starts with perspective. And when you have the ability to look at things from the press box, it'll bring you back to gratitude when you're in the moment, because you'll now realize that I'm looking for this game. Like, okay, that might've been a tough game. That might've been a hard hit, but I'm grateful for that, because it's going to take me to the end zone. It's going to take me to where it is that I want to be. And the best part about life is that there's no scoreboard. Because if I was honest with you and I could tell you how many battles I've lost, it would be way more lost battles than won battles if I were to take my entire life. But it doesn't matter, because it's not like a sport to where at the end of the game, I got to look at the scoreboard, and if my team isn't having enough points, I lost, it's over, and I have to accept that. That's not how it works in life. You can literally, there's no point to where you can, every battle you lose, you come in with the perspective that you get to play again, that you get to immediately be back into the same game, because life, it doesn't end like that. If you're still breathing, you still playing. So because of that, you can operate with that kind of mindset, with that kind of energy in all that you do, not just avoid your prime, in all that you do, because you will start to attract new people to your network, new people to your community, new people. Like it's going to open up. You'll start operating at a higher frequency, and you're going to start to notice other people around you who don't live like this, who don't talk like this, who don't look at the problems in their life with this perspective, and they feel like, oh, woe is me about everything. And you're going to have a decision to make of whether you want to continue on the path to hang around those kind of individuals, or do you want to be more connected with people who operate life like this? Because I don't care what happens. The company gets shut down tomorrow, it doesn't matter, because everything's just a mind game. I know where we're going to end up at the end of the day, regardless. So it's like, if you would have looked at what it is that we had 2 years ago when we started this project and where we're at right now, like there's so much that's changed. There's so much that's different. There's so much that's better. But at the end of the day, in the beginning, we saw this vision and we weren't going to quit and we stayed. Like, so it's incredible. I feel so blessed to be able to communicate with you guys on a day-by-day basis. We got 35 people on. We're going to wrap this call up. If anybody has not already finished paying their deposit for the Impact Retreat, you can go ahead and do so. We have 6 official spots left for 29 days out. All of our leaders that are coming out there, we have flights booked, we have minivans gotten, like everything's incredible. I'm very excited to be able to pour into this community. If you guys haven't seen the pictures of the house, I will share them with you real quick. Start with Impact. Perfect. Okay, so you see here, this is where we're going to be. Like this is where we're going to be at, all 40 of us or 50 of us, whatever it's going to end up being at the total. Inside of this absolutely incredible cabin, you can see my favorite view from here, like where you can see the entirety. Imagine the kind of content that's going to get shot there. Imagine the kind of conversations that are going to get had there. Imagine the kind of connections we're bringing 5, 6, 7-figure earners, 8-figure earners in the buildings where people can walk around the house. They're going to be in the house chilling, where you can talk to them, ask questions, get better. It's all about putting you on a collision with success. That's what Mr. Byron Nelson says all the time. Is aligned. Like we're creating an environment where anybody who wants more, anybody who wants to level up, like this is where you need to be at. And thank God, like we set this retreat up 3 months ago after our last retreat, and just so happened that. And again, when this first retreat happened, we weren't even we didn't even know about all the things that we knew about now. And come to find out, the launch of the actual project is going to be on the October 17th, and we're doing the retreat on the 22nd. Could it be any more perfect that every corporate owner, a part of Warrior Prime, is going to be with the leaders of this community, not every community, this community, on 5 days after we launch this whole thing? Like, if you don't think that you're going to get the value, you don't think that you're like, you must be crazy. So I'm excited. But for everybody who's not going, we're going to see what we can do about trying to get one of the sessions live streamed, so that way we can be able to have maybe some content, be able to post immediately out, or like have some like Zoom call or something like that. I can't guarantee it. We tried to do it last time, but the service out there isn't great because it's in the woods. So it causes all kinds of extra problems. So I will not promise that, but it's something that we're looking into. I will say that all the sessions that we have there will be recorded and eventually put on YouTube. But it's nothing like being in the moment. Like, it's absolutely nothing like being in the moment and being there for that experience. And if you're trying to launch this, you're trying to take it to the next level, you need to go meet the owners of the company, come meet the CEO, come meet, like, there's no better place and environment for you to be, to learn how to do this at the highest level, to learn how to be a part of this. And I'm just excited for you. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Telegram or text me or call me, whatever it is. But this week is going to be an absolutely fantastic week. We have some more information coming out. We had an amazing advisory board call yesterday. Paul will tell you about that if we can go into some detail maybe tomorrow. But we have a lot of things coming up. We know the dates now for the launch. We know the dates now for the webinars that we're going to do. There's going to be 2 webinars prior to the actual launch on the 17th, with us having the ability to build towards that webinar. So like, if you put prospects on that webinar, they're going to see everything it is they need to see, be excited in their own. And then a couple of days later, we'll have another webinar, which will be the day prior to the release of everything. So there's going to be one webinar the day prior. It'll be like you know what I mean? We'll show the whole thing, show how to set it up. It's going to be craziness. So I'm very excited. But at the end of the day, what comes with that? What comes with massive growth? Problems. Am I expecting everything to be just, oh my gosh, tomorrow we're going to wake up, brand new company, and we're just going to all be $1 billion earners the next day? No, there's going to be problems. There's going to be challenges and things we need to push through. So these conversations are preparing this, so that way when we go through that, we understand how it is that we need to move and we need to operate. Here's a perfect example. In June, it's my last thing before I get off. In June, the first week of June in Warrior Prime, we had a big merchant switch, meaning that how we take payments in had to change because of reasons that we really didn't have much to do with. And when that happened, there was a huge drop off in the amount of people that were on the team, because people weren't going in and updating their credit cards. And at the same time, we had like a 700 pip move on EU. It was the biggest. It was right when COVID was going on. It was craziness. And my point is that that throughout the whole company, they saw a drop. The whole company saw a drop. You know what I mean? Big numbers of people leaving. And throughout the Impact organization, we've held and maintained and have actually grown the most out of any group inside of a Warrior Prime. And it's not even close. And that's because of how it is that we operate through transition and through problems. And it all starts from the top down. And if you want your group to operate and move through every situation, move through every problem, move through every obstacle, because I promise you they're coming, then these are the conversations that you need to start having with them. We're building leaders. We don't need to build legs. A strong leader will probably, like, you take care of the leaders in your group. And again, 2 out of 10 people, like 20% of your business is going to build the other 80% of it. So you want to, again, this is just my note to all of you guys. You need to have groups and communication with the people who are you consider leaders in your group, and make sure that you're pouring into them, make sure that you're communicating with them, and make sure that you're all leading and growing together. So I appreciate everybody getting on. I hope you guys got some value, and I'll catch you all tomorrow at 10.